So nothing hurts more than missing lots and lots of short putts. We don't want to be missing these, the inside 5-footers, whacking it and lipping out, not controlling the club face and missing, not taking your time and missing these short ones. These destroy your score. So this video we're going to cover a little bit of technique. We're going to cover some of the best drills that you can do for short putts, so you can start banging in those under 5-foot putts, get those scores absolutely flying down, and just make sure that you're not wasting shots. You don't want to be wasting any around about this 5-foot circle. Tour average inside 5 feet is in the high 90%. There's no physical demand for that, so there's no reason why every single one of you guys can't start to get close to that stat. Yes, we're not going to hit 350-yard drives like Bryson or Dustin Johnson or any of these big hitters. Sorry for mentioning so many live guys. But what we can definitely do is we can be every bit as good as them inside 5 feet. Why do golfers miss so many 5-footers? Generally, it's probably not going to be for a misread. These putts inside 5 feet on most greens won't have much break unless you're playing Augusta, unless you're playing somewhere that's really, really slopey. Most of the time inside 5 feet, it might be a little bit left to right or a little bit right to left, but generally you are going to be aiming inside the hole. So if you're missing these putts, it's either down to poor speed or poor club face control. Generally when people are missing these putts, it's down to poor club face control. So how do we improve that? So what dictates what the club face does is generally how the wrists are moving. So if we can calm that down, if we can lock those wrists, if we can rock the shoulders and rib cage, we definitely limit how much club face rotation we have. Ultimately with these putts, we are trying to deliver that putter face back square to where we want the ball to go. So, a couple of different things. Yes, you may line up your golf ball. You might use the arrows on your golf ball. You might line up your golf ball. That's a skill in its own. You need to be good at that. From there, that might help you align that club face if you have some sort of visual aid on the back of the putter. And then from there, that might help with your aim, which helps you hole more putts. So that's definitely something that you can take into consideration. But in terms of the actual technique, what we are trying to do is, definitely with a putter, we should have it a little bit more in the palm of our hand as opposed to in the fingers. That's going to promote more rotation, whereas if it's in the palm of the hands, you're less likely to move your wrists and more likely to use your shoulders. So gripping it in this lifeline, this sort of little ridge here, pop it in there, try and lock it in the palm. Lots of different grips that you can use. You've obviously got left hand low, you've got the claw. I do this, so I've got a sort of baseball grip and then put my index finger down my fingers. There's so many different grips that you can mess about with. Ultimately, the key is to find one that feels comfortable, but also find one that helps you control the club face. So how do we know how good our club face is? I've got a putting line guide here, which is absolutely fantastic. You can check out the link below for this product. It's really, really good. And if you don't know where you start your putts, something like this gives you a really good guide. So if the ball falls off the left side, when you've hit the ball, the club face is closed. If the ball falls off the right hand side, the club face is open. And these are really, really good at giving you an understanding of your club face. So we're going to pop this here in this little dot, pop that in there, and let's try and deliver a square club face. And this should just roll straight down that tracker. So setting up, it's got a nice straight line here to align the club face to. Oh, and you can see it fell off the right side, so there my club face was open. Club face was square. So these kind of training aids, what you can also do is you can place some T-pegs down just in front of the golf ball. I'll show you in a minute. These will give you good feedback as to, there's it closed. So you can see if it's open, it falls this way, closed, it falls this way. If it's square, it goes straight down. You see pros working on start line all the time. Club face control is key. Ultimately, what we want to try and do is we want to lock the wrists, lock the head, lock the legs, and we want to rock the shoulders and the rib cage. The rib cage has a little bit of rotation in it. The shoulders rock, and there's this sort of solid motion here. We don't feel twisty, we don't feel too much going on. It's a nice light grip. Rock the body. It's more of a sort of upper body driven motion, back and through. Keeping that head still until that ball's at least travelled 4 or 5 feet away, that's definitely going to help you control that club face. It's going to stop this motion where people move their head, turn their shoulders and close the face. If you're someone that misses left, that is possibly what you're doing. So if you don't have one of these, which is a great training aid, what you can do, golf ball down, you've got your line, T-peg on the right, T-peg on the left. The tighter you make that, the more difficult it's going to become. That's a good guide or gate to try and putt through. If it goes through, the club face is square, hits the left one, club face is closed, hits the right one, club face open. So here, lock and rock, lock the wrists, lock the legs, lock the head, rock the shoulders, close club face. Oh, just a bit firm. But that's a really good drill for start line. I think the rule is a really good one, but ultimately if you can do that and start to get your technique in a good place and lock out those wrists and rock those shoulders, your club face control is really going to improve. So once you've done those things, you've obviously done the block practice of start line, you know the technique, the lock and rock technique. Then from there, doing some drills and sort of giving yourself a score. So here we've got 8 golf balls, 5-foot circle, or 5 feet away from every hole. And from there, what we want to do is we want to hear the ball going in. We don't want to turn and watch it going in, because that's going to affect the club face. Before we hit every putt, we probably want to have a look at the hole, back to the ball, trigger to go. So you have a bit of a process that you're going to follow. So it's lock and rock. This one's a bit left to right. Look, back to the ball, trigger to go. Hear the ball going in. We want to see it in our peripheral vision. We don't want to turn the head and turn the shoulders. So again, same process. We've had a read, step in, look, back to the hole, lock and rock, in. Same process, we know the read. Obviously when you're doing this, you would come down, probably line the ball up, look, back to the ball, lock and rock. And you would follow this process for all of those golf balls. And if you can start to get good from here, 1 missed putt, and get a score, maybe do it once or twice, try and beat it, have a personal best, look, back to the ball, lock and rock. Have a read, over the ball, look, back, lock and rock. Hear it going in, don't see it go in, so there's that 1 missed putt. Look, back, lock and rock. Look, back, lock and rock. So 7 out of 8 there, obviously delighted with that. That's actually really, really good. Percentage wise, that's obviously quite high, and that is a really good exercise that we want to go through. The trigger to putt is actually really important. Look, back, go. Stops any hesitation over the ball. Having practice swings, if you're going to have them, not necessarily looking at the club head, ideally probably looking at the hole. I think these things are crucial. Don't watch that face, don't follow that putter head. The head starts moving, other parts start moving, the club face probably twists, and these things ultimately lead to inconsistent club face, which leads to inconsistent putting from this distance. So we know the technique, lock and rock, lock the legs, lock the hips, rotate the rib cage, rock the shoulders, lock the head, lock the wrists. So if you have a lot of moving parts, that will feel quite robotic. If you're very wristy, or if you move your legs a lot, which a lot of golfers do, this will feel very alien. But if you keep practicing it, it definitely will start to feel a bit more normal. That's the technique to help you square that club face off. Find some sort of alignment. The lineup doesn't work for everyone, so it's about finding out what your best way to get good club face aim is. And there's 3 drills that you can try. A putting ruler or a putting guide. I'll attach the link in the description. 2 T-pegs for start line. This sort of 5-foot circle where every ball's 5 foot from the hole, and follow a decent routine. Again, from that distance, we want to see the ball go in or hear it rather than follow the ball. And I think that will help a lot of golfers. There's a lot of golfers out there trying to hook it round and twist round and follow the ball, and that is not what we want to try and do. So give these things a try. Some basic tips. But if we can get really good from inside 5 feet, it will stop those wasted shots, which is going to help you get your scores down. As always, if you like this video, click that like button, comment down below how you putt, which putting tips you would like to see on the channel. If you're not already subscribed, make sure you do it. And once again, thanks for watching and see you next time on the channel.